And we're talking to Biscuit on kind of a somber note because one of his former teammates from University of Lab School in Baton Rouge, Mike Hollins, was shot as part of this incident at the University of Virginia. What was your reaction when you heard the news, Biscuit?
I was shocked. Mike's a great kid. He's a good guy. When he cares about you, he cares about you. So it just really shocked me when I heard the news that Mike got shot because, he's a college athlete like us, and growing up with him, it just really hit home how we grew up together. Knowing the type of guy he is, and yeah, it was just really shocking to me.
Now, were you all classmates at University of Lab School? He was a junior, so I believe you guys would have been classmates.
We were classmates. We graduated the same year, 19.
Can you talk about how long you'd known him, how long your relationship, had you known him since you were like kids, middle school or something like that?
Well, when I first met him, we both played basketball in fourth grade for a little small team in Baton Rouge. And we grew up playing on different teams in the same league, but I always knew about him. We played against each other in middle school basketball, but when we really got to know each other and on a personal note, it was in high school, really from the freshman year to senior year. He was just a good teammate to be around, good person. He was very likable, so.
So I know he's a running back at Virginia. Did he play multiple positions at University Lab? Did he also play on defense?
Freshman year, he played linebacker a little, but all 4 years he was a varsity starter at running back, so that tells you how good of an athlete he was, just to go along with the great person he is, too.
So you had to practice against him as your position, and was he a tough guy to tackle always?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, imagine the guy who got recruited to Virginia, pretty darn good ball player, huh?
Oh, yeah, he's one of the toughest running backs. Well, he is the toughest running back I ever played against. Just to get to practice against him, he was a highly touted recruit out of the state of Louisiana. So, he in and out Friday nights, just seeing him run over defenses is like, man, I'm glad I got that guy on my team.
So have you been in touch with some of the other University Lab teammates from that class in particular? I mean, this has probably had something that brings the school together, and I'm wondering maybe is the University Lab going to do something to try to, support the Hollins family?
Oh, yeah. I always keep up with a lot of my teammates that have gone on to play college ball and, just some of the regular students. And, they always check up on me and see how I'm doing, so I really appreciate them. And our school, UHI's community is very tight, so I appreciate them and all the support and prayers that they've given Mike and his family, and I appreciate them for that because, a lot of people are just sending out prayers for Mike, but seeing that from our school is just warms my heart.
So, I mean, it's obviously, a little more hopeful for your friends than what Anton and Amin got to go through because their friend is gone, but Mike, at least, it looks like he's going to be able to recover and be okay.
Yeah. My prayers and condolences go out to his families and the victims because that's just a terrible thing to go through. But still, for Mike, he has to wake up and say, man, three of my best friends are gone. And from what I understand, they're really tight. And, just he has to wake up and go through that. It's just like, man, that's still not an easy feeling to go through. So I'm still praying for Mike and that his mind's okay. And, hopefully he can fully recover from that. And, it's just not a good situation to be in, even if he survives, because he still has to go through the trauma of his 3 best friends passing.
And I guess when you feel the time is right, you'll reach out to Mike?
Yes, sir.
All right, thanks.
One more question. If Mike's watching this, what's your message to him?
And Mike, he's a fighter, man. He's one of the toughest dudes I know. Whenever we go, he'll tell me, stop being so soft. He toughened me up a little, so I appreciate him. He's a fighter. He's always going to make it through.
Well, Navy football players Amin Hassan and Anton Hall attended Gulliver Prep with Sean Perry, who's one of those killed in the Virginia shooting. Guys, I don't even know how to start this, but I guess when you learned you knew there was a shooting, you knew you had a friend at Virginia, you must have been shocked when you found out it was Deshaun.
Yeah, we were very emotionally shocked. I didn't find out until later on. I was in class. I got pulled out of class. And
On
they told
Monday?
Me, Monday, sir. That's when they pulled me out. And once they told me, I immediately just broke down because Deshaun was a big piece, for both of us. He was our big brother to us, really. Me and Deshaun stayed 3 minutes away from each other back in Richmond Heights, Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And since his junior year, my sophomore year, him, Coach Sims, and Anton, he'll pick all three of us up and we'll ride to school in Pinecrest, and we were having like really deep talks about life, not just football. We were having talks about life. Really, Coach Sim taught us that a lot, and Deshaun really took it upon himself to learn from that. Cause he was the older guy and he was going to leave before us, so like just it really hit us a lot, really.
Anton, can you kind of talk about what your reaction and did you find out from Amin about it?
I found out from my dad. He called me after a class, and that's when I found out. Yeah, it was pretty much like shock, really in shock. I broke down. Deshaun's my big brother. Me and him, like it was like he was the first person I met when I went to Gulliver. So like that really hit hard when I had that news. I see him all the time. Last time I was thinking about all the times that I saw him, all the times that we had, all the talks we had, like Amin said, in the car. Just immediate shock. I would just say that's my initial reaction. Just still doesn't feel real. Still doesn't feel like it happened, yeah.
So, why don't you tell us a little bit about Deshaun? Obviously, he was a great football player. He got a scholarship to the University of Virginia. I know they were high on him,
Yes, sir.
but I also know that he was a leader. He was a guy that was involved with a lot of things. I think he was involved with some social justice issues and other things. What can you say about Deshaun?
The first thing, when you look at Deshaun, his smile really just set it off. He was a very bright person. His passion about just, not with football, just in life in general, what he learned from his parents, it was very high. And just him, like just losing Deshaun, it just brings like a lot of us down, because he was like our light for us. He always kept both of us and everybody motivated to keep striving for excellence, not just with any sport they play or just with life in general. That's what Deshaun would want for everybody.
Your thoughts on Deshaun?
Deshaun was always kept everybody happy. Deshaun always knew when to keep everybody, when to have everybody laugh, but he also knew when it was time to lock in, like when it's time to get right. Deshaun was a very outgoing person. He always go out of his way to make sure people are good, like his friends, especially his friends and family. Make sure they're good. He'll always take care of us, like you said, big brother. And he's a really friendly person, gentle giant. Really gentle giant. Can't anything explain him other than gentle giant, really.
So if you go back in history, Navy beat Virginia in the bowl game, and when I told him I was going there, he was a little bit upset because like, wow, like you guys beat us there. But he was very
military bowl.
Yeah.
So he was ready for the rematch to happen. But that didn't happen. So, but on the other side though, he was proud of us. Me and Deshaun grew up together, and Anton, like, we all were together in that car with Coach Sims, and it was just he was our real big brother. It was an actual brotherhood.
Yeah, we're planning on it. I mean, we got in contact with all of our former teammates and his family and stuff like that. We actually just got news that they're bringing his body back home, so pretty sure that's going to be happening soon. And yeah, I mean, like, when that happened, this really isn't our first brotherhood. Like, we had a brotherhood in high school. Like, our brotherhood at high school is really pretty much the same thing as this, But it's like when we lose one of our brothers, you get back in contact with everybody, and you realize, like, you don't want to lose nobody. It wasn't like that, because, like, we always kept in contact with each other. We never really lost contact. Like, we would look at all of our games, we would look at when we would give a shout out, if they did good in one game or if they had something in one game. So, it's always been in contact with all of our brothers from high school, but then we lost one, and then, it's just really heartbreaking. So we just stayed in contact, and, just getting updates every day on what's going on and what's going to happen later on for our brother Deshaun.
Future military officers to know that there's also threats from within, that having people shooting one another like this?
I think this isn't like Stoneman Douglas. That's really all I gotta say. The shooting in Florida. Like we've always known that's been a thing. Like it could happen here, even though we have a lot of security. You never know what can happen. So I mean, you just gotta keep our guard up. it does suck that even in our own like safety in our own environment that can happen to us. But you just know that we got to keep our guard up, like I said, and then make sure everybody around us is safe.
Well, that's what I mean. You're now part of a fraternity nobody wants to be part of. You're friends with someone that's been victim of gun violence.
Yes. Pretty much same thing Anton said. Like, make sure, one thing like my dad emphasized a lot was always surround yourself with good people, and like that was like our biggest emphasis going to Gulliver Prep, really, especially for me, surrounding myself with good people. And then coming here, it makes it even twice as better. And now I'm starting to understand what the real definition of protect and serve is. So that's one thing, like when I do my time in the Naval Academy, then when I go out in the fleet, that's going to be my #1 job, to protect and serve. And Deshaun will want that for both of us. And we're going to make sure we finish, because that was one thing that he always explained about and practice with us, finish the job, whatever you do. So that's one thing we're going to make sure we do, finish.
Could each of you guys share your favorite memory that you have of him, favorite story? I'm sure one comes to mind.
It's not just one, it's a whole lot, so that's a little hard.
But I'll start off in middle school. Me and Deshaun we went to the same middle school. We went to Gulliver in middle school, and ironically, we went there the same first year. Even though he started off in the 8th grade, I started off in the 7th grade, and we were like the two. It was an all-white school, obviously, and then like it was pretty much like we were the two like big black kids on the team, you know. So like I walked in, and the only person I saw was like Deshaun, and then we dapped each other up. And then he told me the story about him walking in, how everybody was so silent, and then everybody was like, "Wow, he's just big," you know. Like it was just crazy. Like it was just funny how, like ironically, you know, like we just both go to the same school at the same year, and then all of a sudden, like we have the same kind of reaction from like other people. It was really funny.
I mean,
It's a little hard. I don't know which one to pick, but maybe the best memory I have with Deshaun is we're in the locker room. Like it was like, so in high school we play every Friday, but Thursday night we come back in the locker room after having like team meetings, team dinner, and we come back in the locker room and just start dancing. And out of the blue, he's very, like Anton said, the giant. So you just see a big tall person in the middle, and we look and we see Deshaun, like he's the first one just to really like set it off and just start dancing. He he was a really good vibe, and he was high and very high intelligent. He was funny with his dance moves, and like we're like, what are you doing? But he just started having fun, and we all just started having fun after that. And after that first dance he did, it just went viral from there, and we did it every Thursday. It's like a tradition every Thursday night.